What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of the 4 best quarterback arm strength drills to add 10 yards to your deep ball. Let's get started. But before we get started with this video, fellas, we are going to be traveling out to 10 different states this offseason for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. So check out that very first link in the description below. If you guys are local to the DMV area, St. Louis, Missouri, Honolulu, Hawaii, Boston, Massachusetts, Cleveland, Ohio, Austin, Texas, Newark, New Jersey, Seattle, Washington, Denver, Colorado, or Los Angeles, California. We are hosting 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camps in each one of those cities this year. So if you guys would like some more information, how you can sign up if you're local to one of those cities, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you there. Let's get back to this video. All right, guys, so when it comes down to arm strength for quarterbacks, a lot of people think that arm strength is going to come from your arm, your upper body, how strong you are with your upper half, and that is not the case. Arm strength comes from your legs, comes from your hips, and it comes from your core, and also mechanically, your ability to be able to generate torque, and that comes from something called hip and shoulder dissociation. So hip and shoulder dissociation is a fancy word for you want to separate the upper body from the lower body. You want your lower body to be going through as your upper body goes back, so those hips can coil the shoulders, and that generates torque and more velocity and more pop on the throw. Similar to how like a golfer would swing a golf club, similar to how like a baseball player would hit a baseball. So what do you need to be able to do with your lower half to get you into that mechanically sound position? And that's what this drill is going to work on. So many guys, like let's say for example, I'm throwing like a quick seam on the right side of the field. And let's say I drop back and I'm trying to throw it off the third step and be able to plant and throw. One of the mistakes that quarterbacks will make is they'll drop back, and when it's time to throw, their back foot gets too wide outside of their frame. So when your back foot is way outside of your frame, what ends up happening is your back knee caves in, your weight is forward, and that doesn't allow you to separate your shoulders. When all of your weight is onto your front side like so, you physically can't rotate. But when your weight is shifted back, that allows you to rotate, that allows you to drive with your hips because your base is in a more narrow position. But quarterbacks struggle so heavily with getting to that position where this back foot is underneath your armpit. That is the magic spot, because now when your front foot gets down, because your base is more narrow, that allows your hips to rotate more fluid, and it allows you to actually rotate. If you're not back with this back leg and you're forward, or your base is too wide, your weight's going to be forward, and we will not be able to generate torque and get to that dissociation position. So this drill works on that. So what you're going to do, you just need a partner. He can stand maybe 40 yards away, maybe not 40 yards, but maybe 25, 30 yards away. You can honestly stand 10 yards away because it's mainly working on your base. So you're going to start out here. You're just going to do a simple crossover. You're going to go left, right, but you are going to balance on one foot for a split second. Get your feet inside your frame. Then you're going to lightly place your front foot down, because guess what? Now you're in the perfect base position. Your weight is back, and you could just step through and generate power to throw. So it's a simple, easy drill that you can do. You're just crossing over once, planning keeping your foot inside your frame, and then just throwing. But make sure we don't do this. This is what I don't want. I don't want you guys on this drill to do crossover, balance, and then throw all at one time. Let's cross over, left, right, hold it, get your weight back, put your front foot down, then let's start the throw, because that will get you to that good mechanical spot. I'm going to show you how this drill is going to look full speed. All right, guys, so the next drill I want to talk to you about is going to help you a lot with your front stride. So one of the main reasons that quarterbacks lose arm strength, they lose power, is that they'll even get to that good base that we were talking about. They'll have their back foot inside their armpit or underneath their shoulder. Their weight will be back. They'll be light on the front foot. They'll be in a perfect position. But when it's time to throw, what do we see them all do all the time? They will take this long stride with their front foot, and guess what? Your base gets right back to that position that we did not want to be at the top of the drop. Old school quarterback coaches, old school coaches, they used to teach having this really wide base. You know, you see like old film of maybe like Drew Brees in the pocket, you know, Peyton Manning sometimes. When they would throw, their feet would be insanely wide, because when you're wide, you're definitely going to get your front foot down because it has nowhere else to go. You could push as hard as you want off the back foot, but the front foot is going to get down because your base is wide. But was that mechanically sound? Does that take pressure off the arm? No, because you're not using your hips. So the goal is to be able to have that narrow base and be able to get that front foot to get down so those hips can clear, taking pressure off the arm and helping you increase that velocity and arm strength on the throw. So this drill is going to help you with that. So what you're going to do, you need a partner. You can throw to a net. You could honestly do this with like a towel, or just go through the motion with your hand if you don't have a partner to throw to you. But you're going to start out in this good base, back foot under your frame, and your front foot is going to be slightly open to a target that we are trying to aim to. We are not moving this front foot at all. You're going to keep it grounded, keep it solid in the grass, back foot's going to stay under your frame, and you're going to have two hands on the ball. Then all you are going to do is you're just going to throw to your partner without moving your front foot. It helps you get comfortable with that short front stride to allow your hips to clear. So we're going to be here, focus on separating the upper half, and just rotate all the way through, maintaining a knee bend and maintaining that stable front foot to eliminate that front stride. This is a great drill that any quarterback can do if they struggle with that overstride, because again, there's two happy balances. You don't want to be too wide, but you want to be narrow. But when you're narrow, you don't want to have that long stride. It's all about being able to combine the two together, and this is a great drill to do that. All right, guys, so this next drill that we're going to be talking about is a great drill to help quarterbacks work on their throwing sequence and get full hip rotation. So by throwing sequence, I mean a kinetic sequence or a kinetic chain. So when you guys go to throw, remember the whole reason you wanted your back foot to be underneath your armpit, underneath your back shoulder, was so you could do what? It's when the front foot gets down, you're in a good position to where you can rotate your hips, but also it allows your shoulders to go back, because the correct throwing sequence or kinetic chain is very similar to how you would hit a baseball, how you would hit a golf ball, right? You want your front foot to get down as your shoulders stay back, that dissociation. Remember, then what you want is you want those hips to come through before the shoulders do, leaving the ball behind your hip, and that is how we generate torque and get that snap to your throwing motion. Now, one of the mistakes that quarterbacks will make is they'll have the right sequence, they'll get the front foot down, they try to rotate with their hips, but when they go to rotate, their back foot will kick behind them, right? They won't fully rotate with their hips, and that doesn't allow their front hip to clear open, which will limit the velocity that you can put on the throw. You essentially will step, your shoulders will be back, but when that goes behind, your front hip locks and you're throwing all upper body, which puts a lot of pressure on the elbow. The shoulder can make you inconsistent and decrease your arm strength. So this next drill is going to help guys who struggle with that problem of that back leg kicking behind, or just simply rotating at their hips. So you need two footballs. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this football and you're going to put it on the inside part of your heel, I guess you can say, like even with your heel, the tip of the ball should be even with your heel. All you are going to do is just play catch and throw. We're just going to step and throw, but because that football is there, that does not allow your back leg to skid behind. It doesn't allow your back leg to kick behind. You physically have to rotate through and turn through with your hips, which will give you more rotational force and more power on that ball. So I suggest using something a little bit heavier than a football. I know not everybody probably has that, but I'll put, like with my quarterbacks that I train, I'll put a medicine ball there. I put a medicine ball because when they hit that medicine ball, they really feel it. So we'll put that medicine ball on the inside part of their heel, and they have to turn through. If they hit that medicine ball, they can really feel it, and this is a great drill to help you guys get that full hip rotation. I'm gonna show you how this thing's gonna look full speed. All right, guys, so this next drill that we're going to be talking about is going to help you guys get more snap on the ball, get more spin on the ball, and ultimately increase the velocity that you have on your throws. And some people call it RPM on the throws. So what a lot of guys don't understand is that when you guys want to get more spin, more snap, more velocity on the ball, you need to have something called extension. So extension is when you release the ball and you want to get your release point to an extension point. That's essentially where, like, when you throw, your arm should be extended, your release should be almost 6 inches in front of your front stride. That is what gives you that snap, or that like whip, if you will, to the ball. Now, an old school method of quarterbacking, or what quarterback coaches used to teach, was that your front elbow is going to be a source of power. Guys used to literally teach, they would use the phrase like elbow the midget. They would say you want to take your front elbow when you throw and pull it down as a source of power. Now the problem with that is, number one, when this elbow comes down and your head dips, or maybe you swing open and replace, that pulls your body off the midline. As quarterbacks, we have an imaginary line that goes down the middle of our body. It's called midline, right? So whatever your front side does, that affects your release point. So when your elbow goes down, your release point's really high. That's why you see all these old school guys, you watch any kind of old school film, they all have this crazy high release point. That's what everybody used to be taught. Now, I'm not saying you want your release point to be low, but I'm saying that you want to be in a spot to where you could get to extension, and that comes from your front side. So what a lot of guys do nowadays is they'll keep this front hand when they throw, they'll keep it by their collarbone, by their face, and they'll keep their shoulders and hips square to the target. Essentially, you should be able to draw a square with their body, because now what that front hand does being inside of that frame like it is, that allows your release to extend because you're not flawing it. When you pull down, your release goes up, you come down like a pitcher. You're not getting to extension. The old school method, if you want to take this and rotate and replace, what ends up happening is that your arm goes outside your frame and you can never get to extension. Extension comes from having a disciplined front side, which gives you more snap to that throw. So this next drill that I'm going to show you guys is going to be a great drill to work on that. So what you need is you're going to need 2 footballs for this. So all you're going to do, simply play catch. But when you have an object in your front hand, you really feel the difference between having an undisciplined and disciplined front side. So you're going to have 2 footballs. One you're going to throw with, the other one you're just going to keep by your face. You're going to stand with a partner, have the 2 footballs connected, nice relaxed position. You're just going to step through and throw. But you are going to keep that football on the front of your hand by your face so you don't pull it down. Because if you guys swing open, you're really going to feel it. If you guys swing down and you have this football in your hand, you're really going to feel it. So it's a way to correct it and build stability in your front side. So simply all you were going to do, stand with a partner, just play catch and leave that ball by that face and keep those shoulders level so we could get to that extension point with my release and get that snap and that whip to the throw. You see it all the time. Quarterbacks who have a really great throwing motion, have a lot of velocity on the ball, they all snap that release point. That comes from having a disciplined, good front side. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback, and it's always great to hear from you guys. And again, if you guys would like to train with us in 10 different cities this off-season we're going to be traveling out to, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to get you out to one of our off-season QB and wide receiver camps. I'll see you guys next time.